guys, John here, and this week I bring to you the Magnusson Clikstor. Have you seen this new offering from the Kingfisher Group? And Kingfisher Group means Screwfix, B&Q, and if you're from the EU, that's Castorama and Brico Depot. Or Brico Depot, I don't know, however you pronounce that, but you can get this in the UK, you can get this in Europe, and it's a pretty beastly stack this. It's a modular system, so it all breaks down, and it offers something a little bit different. It has been done before by a couple of other brands, but we don't really see many options for modular toolbox stacks like this, which are a little bit more affordable. Now, let me pick it up so you can see what I mean. The whole thing breaks down into these blocks, and then they just click on top of each other. So I went to Screwfix and bought every model of the Clikstor so you can see them all. We've got the single deep drawer here, which is about 22 centimeters deep, so you can fit some chunky stuff in there, including like a circular saw. Then you've got the two drawers, which are just over 9 centimeters deep, about 95 mil. And then this is like a single door cabinet where the drawer lifts up and then slides back on itself. And the top cabinet is like a two-door traditional cabinet, something you might usually see mounted on the wall. So it's mostly a steel construction. The top panel is plastic, to be fair, with the plastic latches, but it's a metal base, metal sides. It's nice and solid. It does have a feeling of a sturdy toolbox. And when it all clips together, it feels nice and sturdy, and it rolls quite nicely as well. So my first impression of this box is it's good value for money. The only thing is, I'm not a big fan of the cabinet or the cupboard, but it depends how you're setting it up. At least you've got the option. And you can't currently buy this as a full stack on the Screwfix website anyway. So if you were buying this, you could just buy 4 sets of double drawers or 3 sets of double drawers and a deep drawer. Interestingly, they also have these organizers. Now, in the catalog, even though they're called Clikstor, I wasn't quite sure if these were compatible, if they were part of the same lineup. I mean, the giveaway was they were called Clikstor, but they just didn't look like that on the catalog. When I was looking through the Screwfix listings, I couldn't really work out how on earth these little boxes were attaching. It didn't really look logical, but essentially every one of these boxes have got like a center lip, so the half box just tucks under there and then it clicks down into place quite easily. And a full box can either click directly on top or it can clip on top of 2 half boxes too, which I think is pretty cool. One little bugbear I did notice quite quickly was with the single boxes. If you have the handle stowed like it normally would, the box won't clip down at all. You have to pull the handle out, then it clips down, and then the handle kind of pushes down, and it's a little bit protruding. Not too bad, but there you go. The organisers are quite traditional. If you've ever used a modular toolbox system like Packout or DeWalt, they always have a clear lid organiser with the little totes inside, and you've got 6 of the little square ones, you've got these long totes, a few little dividers in there, and then you've got a little bit of negative space here where obviously they couldn't put the seal because they had to have this flat area for the little clip block, so they turned it into this little cubby, which I thought was quite nice. If you drop screws in there, you'd struggle to get them out without tipping the whole box upside down, but they thought about that and made a little cubby thing that slots in there. So quite a nice box, nice quality, all made out of polypropylene, which is the same as the other plastic toolboxes on the market, with a polycarbonate top, so pretty solid stuff. Clips nicely to the rest of the system, which I quite like. And it's also quite an interesting adaptation because this box you can get the exact same model but by SK. Now it'll look different because it'll all be bright green. We'll put a picture on the screen. Now the SK model was available in the UK. I can't see it available here anymore, but it's available in America. Now it is the exact same with the same latches. The only difference with the SK model is they've got a couple of 3-drawer boxes, which I think were a big miss. Why didn't Clikstor, Magnusson or Kingfisher, whoever's making the decision, bring in the 3-drawer model? The thing that I like so much about this is that you can break it down, put it in the back of a pickup truck. Obviously pickup toolboxes are a growing concern. There's more of them coming onto the market. Some beefy versions like the Makita Mac Track. If you want to see our video on that, go and check here. Or the DeWalt DXL. Again, we've done a video on that. Go and check up here if you want to see it. They are modular toolbox systems that break down, go into the back of your pickup. Very similar to this, but this comes in at a much lower price point. You needed the 3 drawers. The 3 drawer would give you a good advantage, I reckon, having some smaller hand tool drawers rather than just these deep ones. But the one thing the SK system doesn't have is the plastic organisers. I looked over the SK website, I couldn't see the plastic organisers anywhere. So although SK have got the 3 drawers, they don't have the organisers. Magnusson, Kingfisher, B&Q, Screwfix, if you're listening, bring in the 3-drawer and you're well ahead of the game. So this box, exactly as it stands in the UK from Screwfix, comes in at £375. That's not including the plastic organisers. If you bought this exact same stack from SK in bright green from America, you'd be paying $702, which comes in at about £557, so about 180 quid more for the same thing essentially in green. The only thing SK have got, like I say, is that 3-drawer box, which maybe Magnusson could add to the range, so hopefully we see that. In terms of my thoughts on this box though, it's a good size. The drawers are a really nice width and depth. There is another toolbox on the market, a bit similar to this, called the Clikstor Modular Stackable. Now I really like the Clikstor Stackable, but the drawers aren't as deep. You're losing about 2 inches on a Clikstor Stackable, but you've got an extra inch of width. Now saying that, the equivalent 4 stacker boxes from Clikstor would be about £260, although they don't have the 2-drawer cupboard or the 1-drawer cabinet. They only have drawer boxes. So maybe we'll have to get that. If you would like to see us, we'll put a picture on the screen of that box. If you'd like to see us buy one of those, maybe get them all together and do a comparison, let us know. So this box is new to Magnusson, and to be fair, there's nothing quite like it, but there have been boxes very similar. I've mentioned SK, which was available in the UK, no longer that I can see available in the UK, but there was another one. Have you heard of the Ryobi Toolbox? So this is the Ryobi Toolbox. It's a bit of a beast. I picked this up secondhand from Facebook because it was just a real eye catcher. I'd never seen it before. A little bit of research told me this thing was only available in the US and Australia, and they had a couple of demo models here in the UK. I actually ended up buying this off an ex-Ryobi marketing guy who had it in his garage, and he got one of the only demo units over here. It's a great system. It works in the very same way. So these are all blocks. They lift off and you can connect them, you can restack them in any configuration you wanted. And they actually did have a double height cupboard as one of their options. So there you go, you can see how it works, all clips together. Very similar to the Magnusson Clikstor. The RRP on this in Australia and America back in 2014 and 15 was about $500. I think it was about 450 US dollars, 500 Australian dollars. So that would have put it around about 300 quid. So a pretty good price, but that was 10 years ago. Now you'd be looking about £700, I reckon, for this system. And it's a great system. You've got the one deep drawer, similar to the Clikstor. Not quite as deep. It's a similar depth, but you can see the drawer doesn't fully pull out. This drawer here is a full extension drawer. It nearly pulls out all the way. Whereas this drawer here, you're losing about 4 inches off the depth because they're not full extension drawer slides. Nice deep drawer though. Then you've got a 2-drawer. Very similar to the Clikstor. Obviously you can see this is a bigger box, it's taller and it's wider, but the concept is very, very similar. Then we move up on the Ryobi to a 4-drawer, which I think is a great little addition. If you've got loads of bits and bobs and you want to have some neat categories, maybe a measurements drawer with tape measures and rulers, one for all your pens and stuff like that. Quite a nice box that. Obviously in this one, we go straight to the cabinet, which this has got on the top. But this cabinet got a gas straw, it lifts up, but it doesn't stow away, which is, again, a little bit of a pitfall, really. If you're going to be having your batteries on charge in there, which is what it's designed for, you've got to duck your head underneath. And these stacks are only recommended to go 4 high. It says on the instructions for both, only go 4 stacks high. For me, as quite a tall fella, I could really do with a 5th one and having that a bit more in my eye line. And now I've talked you through the boxes, let me show you one of the biggest flaws and probably the biggest frustrations with this Ryobi Toolbox, which would quickly get annoying. Let me show you the set of keys. That is what you have to deal with. If you want to have this on site or you're working with this and you want to start locking up the box, every single one of these locks is different. Now you could switch these barrels out, to be fair. A little bit of research, you'd be able to find these barrels, get the same number, and you'd be able to have all the same key. But as they arrive, you've got different keys for each one, which you can see that one don't fit. That one doesn't fit, so I'm on number 2, number 3. There you go. The last key that I've tried, don't know if I've ended up with 5 sets of keys there, but last key and we're locked. Now tell me if you don't think that would get annoying fast. Now you could change those locks out, but Magnusson have done something different. Now again, this could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending how you look at it. Each box comes with a set of 2 keys, and those keys work for every lock. So you don't have to worry about having a bunch of keys. And obviously if you buy the full stack of 4, you're going to end up with loads of spare keys, which is great. The only problem with that is if you're on a site with maybe a couple of people with this Magnusson Clikstor, you can all open each other's toolboxes. And unless you've written your name in big letters on it, someone might confuse their toolbox with yours. So, you know, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? You could change those locks out. It's not too difficult. They are very, very simple. Locking mechanism, you could switch that out very quickly and easily. But who wants to do that when you're buying a toolbox, really? So that's the Magnusson Clikstor, and I really like it. I think this is a good value for money toolbox. I think they've priced it right. The fact that SK have already set up a price and drawn a line in the sand of where they think it should be priced, and Magnusson have come in significantly lower, I think is a really good sign that they're trying to offer value with this. The market for like modular toolboxes that can go in the back of pickups is something that's growing. There's a few options that have come to the market very recently, and I think this is a solid contender. As I've mentioned, not a huge fan of the cupboard or the cabinet. Maybe you love those. Let me know in the comments which of these boxes you'd be going for, but I do really like the drawers, and I can imagine if you're working somewhere and you like working from a traditional roll cab, but obviously a normal metal roll cab is going to be far too heavy to lift into the back of your van, you need a ramp. This is the solution to that. You can break it down into pieces that are manageable. There's a handle on both sides. You can load them into your pickup or your van. But when you're working with it on the job, it functions as a very traditional roll cab, which I really like. And these drawer units come in a lot cheaper than a set of pack out drawers or DeWalt Tough System drawers. So really like it. Let me know your thoughts. Would you try the Magnusson Clikstor? Maybe you're like me and you like the look of this Ryobi toolbox. Maybe you got the SK toolbox when it was available in the UK. Get your comments down below. I read them all and I'm interested to hear what you guys think of this new box. And even if it didn't need saying, we've got shadow foam inserts available for all of these toolboxes you see here. So we've got inserts that slot directly into these drawers, a nice snug fit. You can buy them in packs of 2 in any one of the 10 colors, or for the Ryobi toolbox too. They're all at shadowfoam.com. So go and pick up yourself some shadow foam inserts from shadowfoam.com. Get your toolboxes organized. Shadow foam is the ultimate way to organize your toolboxes. So thanks for watching. This has been What Toolbox, the #1 toolbox buying guide. I hope you enjoyed it and we'll see you next time.